Black attack.
Black attack.
Shoot German. Black attack.
Jam like a tech with correct technique. 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 Jam like a tech with correct technique.
Hey yo, for real.
And I wanted today to talk about the fight that happened Saturday night with actually two fights. The rematch with Soto Caras and Mike Jones, and Nonito Donaire and Fernando Montiel. Now, I didn't get the opportunity to talk about either of these fights prior to them happening. I just had a lot going on, and truth be told, I kind of forgot the fight was happening until the day before, and I was like, you know what, I'll just talk about the fight after. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see the fight live. Had a gig, but I set the reminder. Fortunately, I don't have DVR, and set the reminder up for 9:30 now to show you how dedicated of a fan of the sport I am. I got in at 4:30 in the morning and got up at 9:30 to watch both fights. So, needless to say, I was exhausted, but I was dying to see at least one of the fights. So, okay, any case, so I watched the Soto Caras and Mike Jones rematch, and it pretty much went how I thought it would. I thought Mike Jones's combination, his speed, and his jab, which he utilized very well in this fight, was going to be the key. Soto Caras is, he keeps coming forward, and he's a gutsy dude, but I think with a lot of dudes like that, I mean, it's only going to take you so far, until you get in the ring with a guy who is going to pick you apart. And I think inevitably that's what happened. And then, the headbutts were an issue in this fight in comparison to the Bradley-Alexander fight. And both Soto Caras' eyes were cut. That played a big part in the fight. I think towards the tail end of the fight, he just started getting beat up. Just combinations at will from Mike Jones. And though he got hit a few times, I think for the most part he controlled the fight. And as far as Mike Jones is concerned, where he goes from here, I still think he needs to, he's not ready for the upper echelon at welterweight. But I think, he can get in there. A fight with Luis Collazo would be interesting. I always throw him in the mix, man, because I always consider him somewhat of the gatekeeper of that division. He gives anybody a tough fight. So we'll see what happens from with Mike Jones from here. So then I went and seen obviously the Donaire Montiel fight comes on, and they're playing the whole story now. With the inner beef that's going on with Donaire and his family. And and Montiel is, they're showing his background and how he came up with his pops and his gym and everything. So from the very jump, man, I mean, you could see the size difference in this fight. And I think, when I was looking at these two guys, I was like, man, Donaire's really gonna impose his size and really like his athleticism in the fight. And that's exactly what happened, man. I think in that first round, they were feeling each other out. And, Donaire, the thing with him, it's like the thing I like about him is that he's a charismatic dude, but he doesn't, he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for in the ring, man. I mean, he sets these dudes up, and he says something like, where he's gotten to the point where he visualizes what he's going to do, and he can visualize what his opponent is going to do. And that's really a science that's really hard to capture in a fighter. And that's really the goal of most fighters, is to really read your opponent and break him down. And pretty much for as long as this fight lasted, Donaire did exactly that. I mean, he landed a few counter left hooks that kind of put Montiel in the position where he was like, okay, this isn't a lot. This isn't like a lot of the dudes that I've faced. Let me prep. And second round came, man, and it was pretty much the same thing. You see Donaire kind of, trying to set, trying to set Montiel up in a way where he's just gonna, be there for the taking. And as soon as the opening came, I mean, that counter left was, I mean, you could see the replay, and Montiel did not see that punch coming at all, man. I mean, that punch came out of nowhere. And obviously we see, I mean, the after effects of that punch, how Montiel reacted. I mean, it's no question that Nonito Donaire is got power. I mean, I think it was something that people would discuss in passing, but I think there's no question that at bantamweight and even at junior featherweight, this dude is a monster, man. I mean, he's got almost the total package in the sense of, like I said, the charisma, the athleticism, and the power, and he's got good speed. I don't think he's like the fastest dude there, but I mean, I think he's effective with his shots, man. And I think, a lot of the headlines I've been reading is that, a star is born, and I think this is something that I seen in him, but it was going to be telling to be which fight it was going to be where it came out. And, he did it on a big stage, so to speak. Getting a win like that on HBO is still a good look. And, he's going to get pushed by HBO. So, inevitably, I mean, this is a great look for him. And, getting the knockout in 2 rounds over a very highly respected Fernando Montiel is something that is really gonna, I think, be a launch pad for Donaire. They're even mentioning him in fights with Gamboa and with and Juanma Lopez, and he's even like, I wanna sit here at bantamweight, feel everything out. We'll see, we'll see what's good, and I think that's a smart move, and the fight I'm hearing, everybody's wanting to see is him and Abner Mares, but the issue there obviously is Top Rank and Golden Boy having their little beef, so you know how that goes. So again, incredible performance by Nonito Donaire, man. I mean, he's gonna be definitely put on, most people's pound-for-pound lists as it stands right now. And the Filipino community, man, you can't blame them for going apeshit right now, man. I mean, they are a pack of proud people, and I congratulate them, man. I mean, this is really some historic shit, truth be told. This is... it's almost to a level, I believe, that the Filipino community is going to be also looked at, or at least be mentioned when you talk about nationalities in boxing, because you got Mexico, Puerto Rico, and you got the Philippines, man, and again, two guys like Manny Pacquiao and Nonito Donaire in the same era doing what they're doing is fantastic, and it's good for the sport, man. They're both exciting dudes. So again, congratulations to Nonito Donaire, man. Magnificent win, and we'll see what happens later this year, man. It's gonna be he's gonna be a dude that everybody's gonna be watching for. So let me know what you think. Let me know who you want him to inevitably fight this year, next year, and I'll be back with the next fight, which will be Sergio Martinez.